Hey guys, it's Boomer, and I have a super exciting announcement. We here at Service Entrance People are now officially brand ambassadors for Reaper Apparel Company. We could not be more excited to join their roster and to help promote their brand and their entire community. And just like Pixie and I have battled anxiety and depression, so have the folks at Reaper, and they know that the present is not something to waste. It's all about trying to be the best version of ourselves every single day and making our dreams come true like we're doing here on Service Entrance People, and the folks at Reaper are as well. So please join the Reaper community, check them out. Go to reaperapparelco.com, use the coupon code Service Entrance People for 10% off all of your purchases, and you can check out the links in our Facebook and Instagram to get 15% off as well. That's reaperapparel.com. Promo code Service Entrance People.
You got to make a reservation. It's very difficult to get in.
Well, it's okay. I'll use the service entrance. I'll see you at 9.
Welcome
And bienvenidos
to another episode of Service Entrance People. I am Boomer.
And I am Pixie. Hola.
Hola, Pixie. For those of you new to the show, just jumping in, this podcast is for and about the gritty, underpaid, underprivileged service industry workers of the world.
Unite.
We have clearly made some wrong turns in our lives, and because no matter what we've done, we've ended up here. In jobs where no matter our talent, our art, or our skills, we end up dealing with the infamous Karens and Florida men, Floridimenses, and Mr. and Mrs. Von Uppity on a daily basis. Day in and day out, we walk through the parking lot of broken dreams, and we enter through the specially marked door. You know the one.
It's the service entrance door.
It is. If you're interested in listening and sharing in war stories of the industry, or if you're curious as to what us,
the help,
are really thinking, we are going to share with you stories of the strange, shocking, and hilarious, because laughing is the only way we know how to make through.
Exactly. This industry is one that, for some reason, we've come to truly love.
I don't know why.
I know, right? But even though you'll hear horror stories about us, bitching that we have to work at work and, oh, restaurant good, customer bad, rah, that's not necessarily the case.
Nope.
We kid because we care. We're trying to educate you. There's nothing else in the world we would rather be doing except maybe
doing this show.
Correctamundo.
For you. Also, please do us a favor. If we're not for you, we want you to go ahead and listen anyway. That's right. Listen to us. Hate listen. Rage listen.
Binge listen.
Heckle us. Because we know that the only thing better than a good horror movie is a terrible horror movie. But so long as you are pressing play and walking away, it will all be good.
Let your pets listen.
Exactly. And honestly, there really is. Like, I can't stress enough the joy / aggravation that you and I receive listening to that one podcast.
That drives you up a freaking wall.
Because they're stupid and they shouldn't be successful, and they are.
Glaringly more successful.
And they're so bad at their, I don't even want to say craft.
At their crap.
Yes. They're so terrible at it, but we fucking listen anyway, and we know that they're getting the sponsors and the ads and all of that based on our listening to them. So, I mean, A, you're welcome, but B,
also we hate you.
let's bring some sunshine onto us a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
okay.
just bring it in.
You're getting awful angsty there.
I am. It's because I'm still fucking sick. That's
I feel you.
why I still am not 100% well. So for the second week in a row, I apologize for how my voice sounds.
We apologize for Boomer.
And we always do. And also, again, we're trying this alternate recording method here. So I think it sounded okay last week, and I hope that it'll hold up this week as well. But disclaimer. Speaking of disclaimers, one last one. This show, like the industries we talk about, comes with some spicy motherfucking language.
Ay, 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 muy caliente.
So you are forewarned, and you will hold us harmless. Please do us a favor. Listen, like, subscribe, share, rate, and review. Those last ones, very, very big. Rate and review. 5 stars, please.
Cinco stars.
Leave us a review on whatever platform you are listening to. It helps us get up the charts. Getting up the charts means we get the sponsors. Get the sponsors means we get the dollars. Get the dollars means we give a better show. We can do more production. We can get you more merch, which our merch is still available, by the way. And everybody wins, basically.
So how can they help sponsor our program, Boomer?
Well, Pixie, I tell you what. They can become a producer by going to Patreon. Patreon.com/service entrance people. You can be a Karen, a Florida man, or a Von Uppity. Those are our 3 tiers of sponsorship. And all of them, you get free stuff for being a part of. And if you are a Von Uppity, an executive producer, we will say your name at the end of every show.
Lovingly and so tenderly.
Very much so. Now, if you aren't interested in doing a full-on yearly commitment, Pixie, what can they do?
Oh, they can go to PayPal at Service Entrance Peep and leave a one-time donation.
Peeps.
Peeps.
That's
Peeps.
right.
Service Entrance Peeps. One-time donation, the price of a cup of coffee, $1 or $1 million, whatever you feel like giving, just that once.
It helps. It all helps. You can also become a content producer by sending us stories. ServiceEntrancePeople@gmail.com. You can leave us a voicemail, 854-345-7721. Leave us your crazy story or whatever happened. We don't answer. It's just a voicemail, people.
You can also message us on Facebook at Service Entrance People Podcast, or you can contact us on Instagram at Service Entrance People Pod. DM us on that.
Girl, who's all up in your DM?
Hopefully people who love this podcast.
Me too.
Now, this next part of our program is highly sponsorable. Can I say that again?
Yes,
highly
please.
Sponsorable.
I really, really, really would like this to stop being so fucking highly responsible or sponsorable. And please, somebody, we know who we're looking at. I'm not going to name names, Service Brewing Company, Savannah, Georgia. Or anybody that wants to step up and be a sponsor of our Shifty of the Week. You can do it as we lock the doors, crank up the tunes, grab our Shifties of the Week and get ready to go. So, being that I am still sick and feeling my age in that being sick, I'm going to be responsible for this week's Shifty of the Week. I am drinking Sleepy Time Echinacea Immune Boost Tea, courtesy of Celestial Seasonings.
I didn't know you were going to be lame this week.
Super fucking lame. I don't care. Now, the Sleepy Time Tea Company is from Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. My tea has 0.0 alcohol by volume, but it does have a fuck ton of honey in it.
Well,
so,
there you go.
cheers.
Cheers.
And it tastes even better drinking it out of our Service Entrance People mug,
Oh.
which are for sale. Message us on Facebook. We'll sell it to you. We have a bunch up there in the closet. Pixie, you're up.
I am going to be lame too. I didn't know you were going to be lame. I know. Otherwise, I would have thought otherwise better about it. Yeah.
Fucking better. Should have known better, Pixie.
Yeah, exactly. I am drinking out of our Service Entrance People water bottle.
Woo! Limited edition, not for
Yeah.
sale,
And
which is
I'm-
probably good because we didn't get them from the better place we should have gotten them from.
I'm displeased with the whole
Yeah.
design, but it does work in keeping my water cold. So cheers.
All right, Pixie, that seems to be a perfectly logical place to start in on episode 31
Oh.
of Service Entrance People. This week's episode is entitled You Are Why We Can't Have Nice Things.
So true in my house. So true.
I will not comment on the state of my own delightful fucking mess of a home. Love you, home.
hmm
So basically, Pixie, do you want to...
I think we should start with some quick hitters on why people ruin shit.
There we go. I was going to say, do you want to get into a little bit more the concept of your why we can't have nice things?
Yeah. We're gonna just go down a tickered list of the shit that people pull that make us all grit our teeth and think, you're why we can't have nice things.
Now, I'm going to start this off before we even get into getting in
Oh.
by saying that this list should include both guests and employees.
Yes.
Because employees, of all of the things that we're going to be talking about, employees are the number one reason why we can't have nice things.
Yes. Also, when people work in restaurants and they tell you they work in restaurants, they're also awful people.
Yes.
It's a guarantee. You're going to do this shit on this list that we tell you exactly not to do.
Yeah.
And you know why we hate it, yet you do it. Stop it.
Can you imagine in other professions if people did that? Like if a surgeon went in and was like, "Oh, I know I'm about to have my appendix taken out. It's cool. I'm a surgeon too."
So let me tell you how you
So
should do
let me
this.
just, if you're going to enter here, okay?
Yeah.
And then you're going to cut laterally 2 millimeters, and I really shouldn't have less than, and just keep going.
Make sure
and
you're using
going.
the 15 blade to
And-
start the 15 blade.
And then after they wake up out of their fucking anesthesia, being like, "Can I please see the tape?" And reviewing it and being like, "You know what? I really don't think that I should pay you the full fee because I don't think that you did it proper. You left a little there."
You know, you weren't smiling. I could see by your brows that you were very serious. And I just felt like, you could have been cheerier when you were removing my appendix.
I don't think you fully got all of it. There's probably about a good millimeter left in there that you could have taken.
Oh,
So I
Jesus.
know your fee is $50,000, but I think I should get a discount.
Yeah, I think I should get a little bit of
a little bit back.
yeah, a little
yeah,
bit
I
of a
don't
refund.
think I should pay for all of it. That is exactly
You
the
can't do
absurd
that.
version. Right. In real life it doesn't happen, but we know that restaurants are this crazy wild frontier where any type of reasoning and laws of society when you walk in those doors just don't exist. And again, this does come from a staff point as well, because normal human beings would not behave the way restaurant people do in
Yes.
their jobs.
Yes.
It's just, you don't do that.
But it's also one of those things, even in retail. I mean, I know you deal with so much shit because I've definitely done retail throughout my life, but it's not anything that I've ever had someone come up and explain to me why I owe them money for possibly making a mistake.
Yeah.
Like, I've had to readjust things. Oh, it didn't come off at the discounted price when I rang it through the register. My bad. Let me make sure it's rung up at the proper price. But I've never had to, out of my own personal pocket, be like,
Well,
now you've cost me money by making me comp your whole meal and by serving you this whole time.
well, it's like you wouldn't go to like the shoe outlet,
Yeah.
right? Where like, granted, in a normal shoe store, they like get your size and they get the shoes for you, but at the shoe outlets, they're like, yeah, just go find your shit, like it's over there.
Yeah.
That would be like doing that and then going up to the register and being like, I didn't think that the service was very good, so I'm not going to pay the price that you want me to pay.
Yeah, I want 50% off these shoes.
Yeah. I don't feel like I was respected enough as a person coming into the Vans outlet today.
Yeah.
And you could have done more.
You shitty fucking
Fucking-
cashier person.
Retail staffer. Cock. Yeah, it doesn't work. And if you say it like that and you try to draw the line, it
Doesn't feasibly make
preposterous.
sense. Yeah. You would get laughed in the face.
But then you walk into a restaurant and again, totally fine to say some of this shit. I mean, it's not fine, but you
Yeah.
think that it's completely fine to say and do these things. So again, this is everything, man.
I gotta
This
say,
is-
just personally, and this is me being weird. I know that I'm a little self-conscious and I don't like confrontation, but not once in my life, no matter what has happened for a meal, I have never, ever asked for something to be comped.
yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
I've always expected to pay for my meal.
Yeah.
So,
The only time is like if there's, pieces of human, body in there, like
I've
hair
had that.
and shit.
I totally have eaten
See,
a fucking
no.
full-on hair at Bennigan's, and I've actually pulled it out of my mouth and gagged. It was a long black hair. They found out the staffer. They told me they found the staffer, and they still didn't comp my meal.
See, that's fucked up.
I thought it was kind of fucked that they didn't take anything off.
Yeah.
Like, you should have, like,
No, that's
possibly offered.
no.
at
If
least.
that's the one thing. I had a manager who was like, "Look, man, like you
Yeah.
can
Part of you was inside me. I
can-
feel like I
you
didn't
can
consent.
dipsy." He's like, "You can dipsy do like a bunch of different things." He's like, "But if there's like hair or fucking particles and shit, it's free.
Yeah,
Like it's
Yeah.
free. That's unacceptable." So
that would be where the line is, though.
yeah, it's up there, or just debris in there. So I'm gonna start off with one that actually you did not highlight,
Oh,
but I do want to read because it's fresh in our mind, and it does start off with employees being the reason we can't have nice things.
sure.
Okay, so the other day
Mm-hmm.
at the restaurant where we work for our job,
Mm-hmm.
working, I was out at the host stand,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the kitchen members
Okay.
runs out and gets me and is like, because I am,
A hostess?
I am Mr. Fix It. I am, if something is broken, it's Boomer, I need your help.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Like my name is Boomer, but my full name
I need your
is
help.
Boomer, I need your help.
Okay.
So she runs out and she's like, Boomer, I need your help. I'm like, okay. So the printer at the salad bar station,
Okay.
right? The raw bar area
Yeah.
was not working. So everybody,
Okay.
I don't know. No tickets were coming through. It
No
was getting to
say?
be busy, and everybody got fucking freaked out. So they called me in. So the first thing I do is I walk around, look at it, and there's this red light that's illuminated over the button that says paper out.
Oh.
So I went to my kitchen manager. I said, hey, so if the red light that says paper out is illuminated, that means the paper's out. That was the broken, because they're like, the machine's broken. I don't know
Gasp.
why it's broken. So I'm like, so that's why it's broken.
Well, when you're high.
Truth. So then I go and I feed the printer, put the paper in, boom. And this is an older school two-tone paper
Mhm.
printer, right? So everybody can hear it. Everyone
Yeah.
that's ever worked in a restaurant, yeah, you can hear it. So because it's old school, it starts shooting out all of the tickets that had yet to be printed.
Yes.
Okay. So here's why we can't have nice things. The length of the ticket
Yes.
was, you have a picture of me with it
Oh,
around my
yeah.
neck,
Yeah, I do.
was 15 feet long.
Yeah, it looks like we made Boomer into a Christmas tree, a really sad Christmas tree.
15 feet long. When I looked at the first ticket from
Mhm.
when it went out, it was from the night before.
Oh, see, there's no excuse, guys.
So literally, they finished 30 minutes of dinner and an entire lunch shift with no paper, and not somehow realizing that there was no paper in that. I don't know how any fucking buddy got any salad to their table at all
They probably
that
didn't.
day. And if they didn't, I apologize, man.
It'll be
That's
like
fucking
IHOP, where we
terrible.
didn't get our pancakes, but we still paid.
Well, that's because you and I were
We
in
know
the
what we're getting
industry.
at IHOP.
Yeah, well, it's what tempered expectations. Everything else was totally fine that day.
Yeah.
But
No, it wasn't.
it's okay. I still believe in them though.
We want you to be better.
We really do. Love me some IHOP. So that right there, number one, the reason why we can't have nice things is us.
Yes.
And it's so sad, but it's true. We're gonna have to post that fucking picture
Get
on the
your
socials.
shits together.
Yeah, man. All right. Sorry. So, that being said, some of the other reasons that we can't
Yes.
have nice things. One is complaining about not enough sides.
Oh, yes.
Like, how come I don't have more dip? I need more dip. I need more on my what the fuck is it called? I always call it sauce on salad, but it's not. It's a dressing.
Dressing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, complaining that there's not enough dressing. Like, I need more dressing. I need more dressing. And then when you're on your fifth dressing, complaining that it's then not free.
Well, it's like dipping sauce for wings and shit. The ranch, everybody goes nuts.
I don't understand. And here's my thing.
They put ranch on fucking everything.
They do.
It's disgusting.
It's awful.
We call it honky sauce, and it's because y'all,
It's
yeah.
because
You know who you are.
I realized that only white people use ranch on everything, including pizza.
Ew.
And I just think it's so terrible. And I did.
Clogging your arteries.
I was the GM at a restaurant where I did mandate that anytime somebody asked for ranch,
It comes
was
out the
called as
honky
honky
sauce?
sauce. Yeah,
Yes.
it absolutely was.
It should be.
But the fact that people, again, common sense goes out the window and thinks that ranch grows on trees.
Yeah, it does
And
not.
so obviously you could just have all of the ranch in the world and it doesn't cost us anything. But no, it do.
And we're going to charge you at some point.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
There is a breaking point to our ranchy goodness. We are not hidden fucking valley. God damn it.
It's
We're
hidden
not
up
even
your ass.
Keebler. It's hidden up your ass. That's good. You're firing.
Another thing that I dislike is tearing up little pieces of your napkins, coasters, and straws
Oh.
for me to have to fucking wipe down.
That's
What
the
is wrong with
worst.
you? Stop it.
I also hate when servers rip the straw off and leave the little birthday helmet on there because that's just guaranteeing that thing's fucking gonna land on
It's
the ground.
gonna leave.
It's
They're
also-
gonna leave it. No one's gonna properly
It's also
put
gross,
it on a plate.
man.
Yeah,
we
stop
pay
it.
extra money to have your straws encased in paper so that nobody touches the actual straw. Why the fuck are you opening their straws, man?
Knock it off. They're not 5.
Jesus Christ.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, what she said. Also, one of the things that causes us to never have good things ever, and this is like a subset. Sometimes this happens with the, I also work in food and bev types.
Yes.
But more often than not, it just comes from the regulars who will tell the server like how they're great tippers and they're
Oh,
going to get
God.
tipped so well. Like, oh, don't worry, brother. I'm going to take care of you, man. Like,
I'm
I
gonna
always
tip
take
you
care of
so
it.
good.
Oh, my God. You're
you
going to
know, wish I didn't tip you so good.
The tip is going to feel like the full thing. That's how much tip you're going to get. Uh-huh. That's right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I waited till you were trying to drink your water there. I'm kind of pissed at myself that I didn't wait like a quarter of a second left because you would have snarfled.
Fuck.
But then they never follow through on that.
Mm-mm.
They tell you you're going to do it, so you get all excited, and then they fucking leave, and you're like, oh, really, man?
That was it?
Really?
That was it?
I felt that. That was just the tip. Don't fucking lie to me. The thing with that is, though, I always talk to the servers about that. I'm like, I would like to, in those cases,
Mhm.
go up and grab the guest, and as they're telling me how great they're going to tip my servers,
Mhm.
I do want to just say to them, I just want you to know that like all of the nice things and all of the great positive stuff that you say that you think is like included in this great tipping thing, if you could say all of them into your server's gas can in his car and see if it fills up. If it doesn't on those wonderful words, then you need to exchange those words for monies
Yeah.
because
that's
that
how
will make
that
it
works.
fill up and give them life. So just saying.
Yeah. We have the whole, I'm going to look at the menu.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to order off it.
Why wouldn't you?
I'm
It's a
then
delightful
going to
menu.
eat it.
Yes.
And then I'm going to complain about the cost. And then, just to back my shit up, I'm going to pull up an old menu off the internet.
Yeah, I know. what
because,
you're talking about.
15 years ago,
Yep.
it didn't cost this much.
Yep. And they never
So
scrub
I want you to
anything
fix
from
it.
the internet.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I've gotten a couple of those fairly recently where people order their food off of our menu
Yeah.
and then complain about the price when they knew when they ordered it because it's conveniently written on the menu, a description of the item
Yes.
and the cost for that item.
Gasp. I
And-
am astonished.
And then it becomes a barter.
yes.
And then it becomes like 1960s car dealership
Let's dicker you
where
down.
you're just trying exactly
but
just
you
horse
can't go
trading.
into you can't go into the shoe outlet and be like
Exactly.
this pair of shoes, I feel like I'm getting overcharged.
Yeah.
No, you might walk out and go, these fucking prices,
Listen,
but you're either gonna pay it or you're not.
I wear Vans, which is
Yeah.
why so I can't go in there and be like, 25 years ago, I paid $15 for this shoe.
Yeah.
Why am I going to give you 60 now?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And we
It
can't
doesn't work that
exactly
way.
we can't call the internet and ask Google
I would love to
take
call the
down
internet.
the old menu that you have.
We actually have tried to. I've tried to do that before, and
You
Google
tried to
doesn't
call
give a
Google?
fuck. Google,
Yeah.
Google doesn't give a fuck. They're like, oh, that's too bad.
That came from someone's cell phone. I don't know how many
Why
years
don't
ago.
you? Yeah,
Go fuck yourself.
Why don't you go ahead and update your own website and then send people there? Is pretty much Google's
Yeah.
response to that. Which
It still doesn't take the image off, but
it does not, and it still hurts.
yeah. You
Also,
heard.
complaining, like you're talking about with the menu,
Yeah.
complaining about not knowing ingredients that were in a dish after having ordered off the menu and the food arrives.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I didn't know it had that on it.
Yeah.
And you're like, so you were able to read the name of the dish you wanted, which leads me to the assumption
Mhm.
that you are literate.
Yes.
And if you are literate, then the other words underneath the words you read that are
the
the
smaller print, but
descriptors
still there.
are the descriptors of said item you would have read.
For
But no.
example,
Nope.
we had a customer that had complained once that the
Once.
that the coconut shrimp had coconut. What?
Yeah, okay, so there's actually been a couple of shrimp snafus here.
Yeah.
So one,
Shrimp-oo.
yeah, a shrimpu. So the first one was coconut shrimp. So a woman ordered a coconut shrimp.
Yep.
And it came to the table and she said, "Oh, I can't eat this. I'm allergic to coconut."
Coconut.
Right. And so the server looked at her very incredulously and was like, and the woman said, "Well, I thought that coconut shrimp was a type
Of shrimp.
of shrimp, that it was like an exotic,
Fancy.
fancy
She said fancy.
type of shrimp.
Yeah.
Not, again, the descriptor words that say shrimp doused in coconut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that's bad, but it's not an isolated incident because there was also a woman who ordered buffalo shrimp.
Yes.
And I got called in because she complained about the size of her buffalo shrimp.
Yes.
And
Not the shrimp part.
nope, the size. To which I went and tried to like explain to her, and she said, "Well, I figured they should be bigger because they're buffalo shrimp."
I love it.
Which again, like it's not
I
even like they
love
were
it.
called jumbo shrimp, right? Like
Yeah.
even jumbo shrimp, I guess I can,
Which is,
you
know,
it's a misnomer that everybody understands, but still,
It's an oxymoron.
like military intelligence. There you go.
Get out of here.
But
It's just not a thing.
it's not. It's not a thing.
Knock it off. You know you're better. Be better.
Thought it was different. Thought it was bigger. You do know that buffalo is the sauce, lady, right? Like that's the descriptor isn't the shrimp. Nah, never mind. Never mind. People are also suing Buffalo Wild Wings for their boneless wings not actually being wings.
That's so fucking weird.
I know. People are the worst.
Okay, so another way people are the worst
Yes.
is making tons of mods to an order.
All the mods.
Now, we talked about the mods. We talked about how they frustrate. But here's where you go the extra level.
Don't be part of the mod squad.
Yeah. The extra level is by taking, vegetable scampi and saying, no mushrooms. Make sure they add extra vegetables. I mean, all the vegetables. Seriously, though, I'm really hungry. So all of the vegetables, absolutely no mushrooms. Also, could I get a side of balsamic?
I feel as though that was oddly specific, Pixie. Were you reading a ticket?
Yeah, actually, I was. Someone
That's
actually
amazing.
reported to their server, I want you to put exactly this for the kitchen to read.
Oh, because they'll love that.
Hey, chef, I come here all the time. It's okay.
It's
They
fine.
know me.
They know me here. I
They
know the
know me.
owner. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. You're very special.
I will say there was one ticket that I sent back to the kitchen when I ordered some employee food, but I asked them to not put any spice of any type on a chicken. And
Because it'll ruin your asshole.
I literally wrote the words because I'll poop too much, which I thought was fair.
That's fair.
The
It is
guys
fair.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
They thought it was funny. They're like, "Who is this?" Oh, it's
It's
for
Boomer.
because they don't look at the name attached to the tickets ever.
No,
you
I
know?
wouldn't either.
So yeah, it took them a second, and then they were like, "Oh, okay."
As soon as that came through, I would have known it was for you.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything with faulty butts is usually me. Sadly. Also, with the mods, the other no is sending it back to the kitchen after it's been modded to death because it's not the shelf's fault or the chef's fault that
It's not the shelf chef's fault.
it's not the shelf chef. The shelf on a chef
The chef on a shelf.
That one.
Ah, adorable. I
We're
want to make
starting
those
that.
now.
Yeah, we're starting that. Patent pending. Patent pending, everybody.
Service entrance people's chef on a
Copyright.
shelf.
Copyright 2023.
2013.
Yep, I'm all for it today.
Oh my goodness.
Son of a bitch. And now it makes it way less cool for me bitching at people for doing this. This is just
Go ahead.
completely
Bitch away.
deflating
What
it.
do they do, Boomer?
Well, it's not the chef's fault when you've modified a dish to death and then you don't like it. Like, the whole reason an item is on the menu is because the chef has figured out the best combination of food items to put together to taste
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And so when you start coming in roughshod and changing shit,
You change the cheese,
Bro.
you change the sauce, you change the sides. All of a sudden, gosh, this filet with blue cheese and a red wine reduction doesn't taste like that. Well, that's because you subbed out the steak for chicken, the feta
For
for
ragu.
Yeah, or the blue cheese for feta cheese, and the
hey. Let's
hey.
not talk bad about feta.
I'm
Feta goes
saying.
perfect with everything. Pick another cheese is all I'm saying. Pick another cheese.
Okay.
Gouda.
Okay, you swapped it out for Gouda, and then the red wine reduction
Is
is
ragu.
now ragu.
Which
what
we
the
also
fuck do you
love.
do?
Yeah.
What'd you do? Of course it's not going to taste like steak. It's chicken.
It's not the chef's fault. That's you.
It's
That's a you
just
problem.
You.
You need to realize.
Fix your shit.
Fix it.
I love how people tell us that they want their meal to be gluten-free. And by the way, could I get a beer?
I mean, beer's not gluten free.
No.
I mean, some
See,
beer.
it's made from, it has the glutens.
Some
So-
beer is gluten free. There are gluten free beers out there.
But there are also not.
Yeah, like
So don't
99.826%.
fucking abuse a gluten intolerance, you fucking liar. Because celiac disease is a fucking real thing.
It's a very real thing.
Just say you don't want bread or pasta. Like, knock your shit off. You're not cool because you want it gluten free and you annoy the rest of us. So stop it.
You're giving gluten freegans a fucking bad name, man.
Yeah. And you're also not making us believe people with celiac, which is a bummer.
Yeah. Go to the Free the Gluten rally. Also making the joke, I hated it at an empty plate when you're picking it up. You know, did you like your meal? Oh, I hate it. Or having a drink that, oh my God, there must be a hole in the glass because it's disappearing so fast. I better have another one.
That's like saying cone of shame at the vets. They've heard it a million times. You're
Yeah.
not cool. Stop it.
That's like me saying the same 9 things to guests on a loop because I'm not bright enough to come up with a
Yeah.
10th. I know it's annoying. I just can't stop it.
The sad news is you have the worst server in the world. The good
The
news
news
is
is
I can comp everything.
Exactly that one. It's such a shitty
I hear
line.
Boomer say it across the
Anytime
restaurant. all the
I
time.
ever have to deal with a table, I always say that.
I know.
But they love it.
You know what's funny is I mouth it as you say it.
Nice.
'Cause I can hear you
Because
across
I'm
the
that
restaurant.
repetitive.
Yeah,
But you know what? Gets me the tips.
there you go.
Incompetence works for me.
Hustle that pussy.
I do.
I really hate when people hang out at a table lingering,
Oh.
especially our Sunday crowd who is there for the cover band. Like, it's the best band in the world. And you stay. And I have marked you in our system. Like, when you sit down, the hostess puts how many people are at that table. We see that you're there for 2+ fucking hours. Get the fuck out. Get out.
How do you feel, Pixie?
I am enraged
You
and
are.
sick.
You are.
I'm sick and tired of it.
Now, in regular restaurants, it is a pain in the dick because typically you've got an expected turn time on a table. So when
Yeah.
you're taking reservations and planning, now with us, it gets a little bit different, and we do have that live music every night of the week, and then on Saturdays
You can
and
stand
Sundays.
around with your beer. Go away.
But yeah, sitting there, it's tough. It's tough for the servers, man, because the servers aren't making money, and their whole point is to make money, and it's just it's not cool, man. Like, we want you to have a good time, but we also want you to get the fuck out.
Exactly. We love you. Get the fuck out.
Exactly. And this is just kind of a thing that we never want to do
Mm-hmm.
to others, which is asking to be seated or going in right before closing.
Oh my God.
Or
I don't even want to be there a half hour
Yeah.
before closing.
yeah, or getting offended if you go to a restaurant and say you made a reservation for 7 p.m., but you show up at 6, then you get pissed off because you can't get sat at 6.
Because your reservation was for 7.
Right.
We were going to have a table for you at 7.
Right. We have one specifically for you at 7.
After these people eat
and are
at
finished
6.
at 5:30. It would be
Yeah.
a 90-minute.
Yeah.
But-
turn around.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But when it comes to the whole getting seated right close to closing and all of that, like for us, we don't like going into businesses.
Any business. I mean, grocery store,
Yeah.
clothing store, whatever.
Yeah.
I check hours, and I feel mortified.
Yeah, you've got a little bit more than I do on that
half
one.
hour. If it's a half hour or less, I will not go in.
Yeah, you're like Domino's in that.
Yeah.
30
no,
minutes
I
or
won't.
less, you don't like to do it.
No, I won't. I
And
just
really,
refuse.
it's just because we know what it's like being on the other side of that. And
Those people
and
have
seeing...
families. We have families. We're tired. We want to go home.
And the other thing is people don't know, like when we go in, we're not knowing if they haven't done business
Yes.
at all. Because like that's the big thing is
Have
when
you
you're
had like
slow
a dead day?
and nobody's come in for like an hour.
Yeah.
Like at that point, if I'm a manager, I'm like, you know what, just shut it down.
Yeah,
Because
let's close it up.
at some point you're wasting more money, and the person that's going to come in is not going to spend enough money to cover all of your overhead for being open.
Yeah, you're not going to cover the entire staff and
Right.
the electronics
Right,
and
all of
everything
that.
else.
Right.
You're
And-
not.
and the
We love you, but
utilities.
you're not worth it.
So it does come down to like at that point, it's just like you're almost causing
Yeah, you're costing
more,
us
and
money.
so that's why from our point we're like, no, not going to do it.
Yeah,
Not going to do it. Sorry.
it's just a politeness thing. Really, it's a common courtesy, and we're sorry if we closed and our hours said otherwise. But if we've had that type of day, like we said, you're costing a business money. It's not personal. It's business. That's all.
Mr. Jim Business.
This is something that I am super guilty of, and I apologize to Shelly at the Steak and Shake because as a kid, I was a fucking asshole. So once again, Shelly at the Steak and Shake in Florida, I am so fucking sorry, but we would get waters and a bunch of lemonade or lemons and make lemonade and take a bunch of the sugar packets, and we would do that and sit there all night
Instead of
having
ordering
lemonade
a lemonade.
instead of ordering lemonade.
Wow.
And I am so sorry.
Just
As an
so you
adult,
didn't have to pay. You're an ass.
no, I still ordered food, but like,
But you weren't paying for the drink.
I know, and I'm a dick, and I didn't think about it. I was a child. I'm so sorry. That was my bad.
Dick child.
And the problem is they were open 24 hours, so it was like the midnight crowd.
Who aren't robust.
Yeah, I feel like such a jerk.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. So I had to bring that one up because that's on me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That's squarely on
It
you.
is. If I could
Goddamn.
pay you back, Shelly, for all the times I did that, I would do that now. I would pull a check out of a checkbook and pay you.
Yikes. I have issues with this one
Mm-hmm.
because it's so shady.
Yes.
And everybody knows it's one of those things
Is
that
it Slim Shady?
it is. It's the real Slim
Slim
Shady.
Shady.
The people that do this know what they're doing, right?
I don't know what you're going to talk about.
I
Otherwise,
know.
I'd be like, yeah.
So they know what they're doing. When
Okay.
they talk to you about it, they know what they're doing.
You know what you did.
The manager knows all of what's going on with it.
Can you just not call them on it?
It's hard to
Okay.
because then you are the one who's the asshole. It's when somebody will order a steak and they'll cut the end piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll leave that there. They
Okay.
will then go and eat the rest of the steak, then call over the manager and say the steak was overcooked
Oh, you fuckers.
and show the end piece, which will be more cooked than the middle, which is where we temp it. But then you ate the rest of it so as to conceal the actual cookedness of it and only left that little part, which now we all know this as the rule, right? Typically, if you do not eat something, if it's that bad that you don't eat it, you have one bite, you can't touch
Yeah.
it. At that point, the restaurant, if they're a good restaurant,
Will
will be
comp
like,
it.
exactly. Like you didn't fucking eat it, man. It's not one
you
of
tasted
those.
it and it was not good.
Right. Like I get that. Maybe you want to order something else, but we'll take that one dish off because
of course,
right.
because you're not going to eat it. So why would you pay for it? We
now,
get that.
Now, if you are eating it or you eat half of it and you're like, oh, blah, 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 no, I'm sorry, then it goes out the window.
Yeah.
That's on you.
You've gone too
sorry you
far.
didn't like the dish, but you did,
Clearly, you did because you ate 80% of it.
But with the steak thing, first of all, everybody knows that when you temp a steak, or maybe they don't, that's an assumption I made.
Yeah,
I
see?
apologize. For those of you who don't know, the way that restaurants temp steaks, as far as to if you want it, rare, medium, blah, 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 is by the middle of the cut of meat. That is where the temp comes from. So as you get closer to the edges of the meat, it will be more done than the center of the meat.
This is not at all a cue for you to do this. Do not shame us in that way.
But that's how it's done.
Yeah.
So the people that cut the edges off to leave as their proof
Yeah.
that your meat was medium when you wanted it medium rare, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, don't fucking do that, man.
We know what you're doing.
Stop it.
Now, there are times where I have had to come back with a refire on somebody's table, and I know that they don't know where to cut into the meat because they've cut in, towards one of the sides.
Yeah.
They haven't eaten it, but they do the cut, and then you look in and you're like, oh, it's overcooked. So I'll bring it back, and I'll say, I'm going to stand here, if you don't mind, just to make sure that we tempt it properly for you.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, cut it in the middle, please, because that's where we base the temperature off of.
There you go.
So that way they're hearing it from me that that's what I'm going to go off of because that's how we temp it.
Also, if you're a repeat offender of this, if you repeatedly go to a restaurant, learn to tailor your expectations. I know for myself, Outback always is under where I want it to be. So instead of ordering medium rare, which I would normally do, I always ask for medium because I'm going to get medium rare. If I asked for medium rare, I get it rare to fucking blue. It's just how they do it. I don't know why it's a thing, but every Outback guaranteed is going to do that.
It's like knowing that some stores, their size 6 is really
gonna
a size 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to be a size up or a size down. Just levy your expectations. I really hate the no tipping on Togos because I personally, during my business day, am dealing with people coming in, having to customer face, and I have to stop everything I'm doing to take an order to go.
Yep.
And I do them over the phone. I do them in person. I take them from an app. I do all of those things.
And you have to physically go and input them in the computer.
Yes, I'm doing the same thing that a server is doing, but I am walking away or being interrupted in multiple tasks to take that order. If you don't tip me, it's just as bad as not tipping your server.
Yeah.
I might not be there to refill your water 15 times, but I am doing multiple things.
And it shouldn't be the same as a server tip.
No. I'm not asking for like 20%.
Yeah, but just something to say.
Oh, I don't care if you tip me $2.
I appreciate the effort and I see what you did. Yeah, no, absolutely. You should totally be tipping in any restaurantal situation, to be perfectly frank. One thing also, please don't ever do. Snapping to get people's attention, no matter where you are, is the biggest fucking dick move. Makes you feel like you're being treated like a dog and not even a good boy.
Yeah, it's super disrespectful.
Not even a good dog. Just
we are
don't
not.
Do it.
We're not.
I don't
animals.
know why, as a society, we're still at that level, but we need to not to be.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Another thing, to insult my intelligence by saying Smith Party of 4,
Oh.
acting like if you know that a party of 4 is not going to offend me, that you're going to catch me off guard if I'm really busy, and I'm going to try to seat you. Now, I'm intelligent enough that I keep track of my list. I know when there's a Smith party. You know why? Because I was married and my last name was Smith. So I know. And when you come up and you try to sneak that one in there, just an adult and 2 kids, I know you're not really on my list.
Yeah, that's something new that we've just seen happen. And there are people that go around to restaurants when it's busy trying to call up a name that they think is going to be on the reso list.
Yep.
And
it's like looking at a list upside down and saying that
trying
name.
to be like, I'm Robert.
Yep.
I'm Robert, party of 8.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. I'm lucky. I'm right here.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that until like just a few weeks ago. And
it's really
it's a
rude.
fucking real thing. It's crazy, man. It's fucking ridiculous. So yes, please don't be shady like that.
Absolutely. Knock it off.
Now, here is a story coming to us from Kaylin in North Carolina.
Hey, Kaylin.
Kaylin has written us before, actually. And this is another, like, why we can't have nice things. Like, really, though.
Yeah.
Okay. So this story happened on a very, very busy Saturday in her store. So busy that they actually had to limit customers coming in at one point.
Damn.
So during the lunchtime rush, there was a customer who Kaylin noticed had a dark liquid dripping down the back of her leg. Kaylin thought it was blood, right? And was worried that the woman may have hurt herself or was having her menses.
Yeah, that time of the month.
And the woman just didn't realize it. So she was in the middle of checking out a line of customers, and Kaylin quietly got the attention of an employee and asked her to go check on the customer. Noticed that some of the liquid had started landing on the floor,
Yeah.
and she realized that it did not look like blood because it was too dark and a
Okay.
little chunky.
Ew. What was it?
Well, when the employee approached her softly asking if she was all right and that she noticed bleeding, the woman looked down, panicked, handed the employee the clothes in her hand, and then bolted out the door, flecks of brown flying behind her, landing on the
Oh.
floor and the side of the jewelry tables.
Oh.
Thank goodness it didn't hit any of the clothes because it was not blood, it was poop. This grown woman, probably in her mid to late 20s,
Poor thing.
didn't know that she was having diapoopy in public and couldn't hold it in time to reach the restroom. Just glad that she never made it to try on the clothes. She actually had a fitting room started and was about to head back to try everything
Oh my
on.
God. No.
What a mess that would have been. And they already had to, as subtly as possible, then clean up the small puddles of shit left behind. Never saw that customer again.
Poor
I
lady.
don't know what would possess a human being.
To go trying things on when you feel sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that's awful, man. Like, as a person, dude.
Yeah, it would have to be so pressing. Like, I think I would just risk the size and be like,
I
I'm
have
going to buy it offline.
I have
and-
Crohn's disease, man. Like,
Yeah.
I won't go out of the house
Yeah.
if I
feel
think
you.
it's iffy back there. That's just ridiculous.
We have another story from Alexandra in California.
Hey, Alexandra.
You remember Alexandra. She is super awesome.
Hope you like the shirt.
Yeah,
She's got one of our
she's,
special Service Entrance People shirts.
Yeah, she's
that
super cool.
You can totally Facebook us for.
So she says, how do we politely tell people we're not watching their kids? It's one of those things where parents tend to ignore their children as they act wild ass inside of restaurants.
Yep.
The story she tells is I had a bunch of kids bouncing a rubber ball off of a 86-inch TV,
Jesus.
running up and down, slapping the TV so hard they literally left handprints in the middle of the
Oh, you
TV
bastards.
that were hanging from the ceiling. They
Mm.
tried flushing an entire candy bar down the urinals.
Oh, a urinal. Down the
Yes.
Oh, you little fucks.
Right, running throughout the restaurant into people and staff members alike.
Jesus.
I finally was forced to pull a parent out of a private room and told her that she needed to either keep the kids in with her or that an adult had to be out with the kids to be responsible for them in case of any damages they might cause. By the way, these were teens, not little kids.
Oh,
I was beyond over it.
fucking I would be too.
Alexander, you do the Lord's work, honey.
You really do.
And you have the patience of a saint.
Speaking of over it, this we draw to the end. Episode 31 of Service Entrance People.
You're why you can't have nice things.
Yes, you are, you son of a bitch.
You.
The reason that we can have nice things, though, are people like executive producers Chris Moore and Chuck Cumberland.
Thank you for our nice things, Chris Moore and Chuck Cumberland.
Patreon.com/Service Entrance People. You too can become a producer of this show. You can also go to serviceentrancepeople@gmail.com. Send us your stories. If you do enough of that, you can become a content producer like Chef Hope and Jeff Teal. Thank you also to the folks who leave us voicemails, 854-345-7721. Just another way to share with the show. Plus, Pixie,
Don't forget to email us at serviceentrancepeople@gmail.com.
I did already say that.
Facebook message us at Service Entrance People Podcast. See, even I'm not we can't have nice things. Or you can DM us at Service Entrance People Pod, because it's all meta, baby.
Who's all up in your DM?
Hopefully people who love this podcast. And if a commitment isn't for you, if you just don't want to do the yearly commitment and you want to do a one-time donation, go to PayPal at Service Entrance Peeps.
Be a peep, $1, $1 million, it doesn't matter. It all is helpful. And don't forget to check out our YouTube, which is at Service Entrance People. There we post for our hearing impaired listeners so that you all can have some fun and join in the Service Entrance People proceedings. And we will be back again next week, Wednesday, midnight. Good Lord willing, I'll sound better than I have the last 2 weeks, and this evil pox sickness will be out of my body. But who knows? That's why we play the game. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in. I am Boomer.
And I am Pixie. Adios.
What can I say? I won't give it up.
What's up, everybody? My name is Brian Chartrand. I'm a singer-songwriter based in Phoenix, Arizona, and I started a podcast called So the Story Goes with Brian Chartrand. It's a podcast that connects with creatives, mainly creatives here in Phoenix, but also international touring artists, names that you definitely will recognize. And we talk about everything from pop culture to music to art, how they stayed creative during the pandemic. It's a lot of fun, especially if you love music, and I know you do. I'm also old friends with your dear friend, Boomer. I hope you check out So the Story Goes. I think you'll dig it. You can find it at Apple Podcasts, on Amazon. Join us for the next conversation. We're celebrating 100 episodes. Thanks for listening.